Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Tyler here, and today we have some more Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 gameplay, and we're going to start off with a little bit of a commentary here, as I'm going to go over, my first impressions of the game, some of my thoughts, and we'll go over some stuff with, different maps, different weapons, and the new perk system in the game. So yeah, it's going to be some M4 gameplay again in the background. I know we've had a lot of that here to start, but I was using it a lot when the game first came out, just to, try to rank up as best I can and, get the other weapons unlocked so I can start working on those as well. And I will have some nice gameplay coming out soon with all the different weapons, going over how the weapon progression works and whatnot for some different weapons here in this game. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and get into it. We'll start with the maps. So we got 10 core maps at launch, and there's 5 ground war maps, and 3 of those maps go both ways. So 3 of them are for core and ground war, and they are like expanded in ground war, those 3, and they are a little bit more condensed in core. Still bigger maps for core, but even bigger when you get them in ground war. I have not played a whole lot of ground war, so do not really have any thing on that. I did play some Invasion. I played like one match of it, and I just don't really like how it's set up, man. It's cool having a lot more players. I think it's either 20v20 or 12 vs 12, something like that, and then there's a bunch of bots in there too, and that's what ruins it for me, man. It's still a cool game mode, but it's not something I'm gonna play. I'm not trying to play against bots, man. It's weird, man. They should just have 20 vs 20 or 32 vs 32 at the most, and just be all actual controlled players rather than the bots mixed in. I just don't like that, man. But yeah, so mostly we'll be just talking about core maps. So we started off in the beta. We had 4 maps, and that was Farm 18, Greenberg Hotel, Mercado Los Alamos, and then we had Valderas Museum. Now, I'm not sure why. I did not really look into it, but for whatever reason, Valderas Museum is actually not in the game right now at its official launch, and it's still not there, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. I actually liked that map. It was pretty solid. It wasn't great by any means, but I definitely liked the map. It was a solid one for, whether you're sniping or want to use ARs and stuff. It was good either way, I think. So hopefully that comes back into the game here soon. Yeah, Farm 18, solid map. Greenberg Hotel, I don't really like it a whole lot. It's not terrible, I don't think, but it's not that good. It's not great. It's not terrible either, like I said, but I pretty much like I pretty much like any map for like search and destroy. So a lot of these maps will depend on what game mode you're playing, and then of course how the enemy team is playing, because everyone has different play styles, and sometimes you get in lobbies where the other teams sometimes play the maps kind of weird, and then sometimes they play it more normally. So it just depends on what kind of lobbies you're in, what kind of game modes you're playing. As far as game modes, I usually just play domination and hardpoint, and then some search and destroy too, of course, as I just like playing objective modes more than like team death or kill confirmed. I don't have a problem with team death. It's nice to get a little warmed up in or whatever. Those games go kind of quick when they only go to 75. And then like kill confirmed, when you're trying to confirm your kills, you end up just dying more often than you probably should. And the spawns are a little all over the place. They're a little more controlled in the game modes with objectives. Now, of course, the spawns are going to be a little sketchy at launch, and there will be problems with them, and I'm sure that they will get better as the game goes on. But yeah, I just prefer to play objective game modes. I don't play a whole lot of the other ones, but I do, mostly just play domination, hardpoint, a little bit of headquarters as well. Hardpoint, I always tell people, to me that's just like the modern day headquarters. So it's pretty similar. But of course, in like headquarters, once you capture that objective, if you die, then you don't respawn again until the enemy team destroys the objective or the time just runs up on it. So that is the difference between that and hardpoint. We'll go over a couple other game modes real quick. So of course you also have free-for-all and then headquarters, like I mentioned. There is control, which that is a newer mode that I think came out in Black Ops 4. I think that was the first year control was out. I could be wrong on that, but it's a solid game mode. I don't like it a lot, but it is one that I will play every once in a while. Of course, you know, Team Deathkill confirmed, like we mentioned. Domination and Hardpoint is our main go-tos, as well as Search and Destroy. And the two new ones, other than like the Ground War and the Invasion, which we really don't like to mess with much, Prisoner Rescue and Knockout are new. I did play some Knockout in the beta, and I do like that game mode. It's not great though. It's similar to Search and Rescue, but instead of having a bomb as the objective, it is a bag of money, and you pretty much have to hold on. One of your either you or your teammate has to hold on, go grab it and hold on to it for that round. I'm not sure if it was whoever holds it longer that round or whoever is holding it at the end of the round that wins it. But usually you just end up eliminating the other team. That is another way to win the round. You just eliminate all the opponents. You can also revive your teammates that have died if you can. You can go revive them, and that's always a good thing to do so you can get your numbers back up, try to have more people out there fighting for that bag of cash. It's solid, man. I didn't play a whole lot of it, but I got a few games in, and I did well in it, and I like it. I just don't think it's great by any means. Prisoner Rescue I have not tried at all. I believe that is also like a search type of map, but instead you have a prisoner that you got to rescue or whatever. And I would assume, you know, one team's defending and trying to not let the prisoner get rescued. I will, you know, try these out at some point. Here in the next few weeks, it's just, you know, first week with the game out, you just got to go crazy with, you know, your bread and butter. Try to rank up best you can and level up weapons in the game modes that you are best at. It's just a smart thing to do. But yeah, in the next few weeks, we will venture out and play some different game modes and stuff like that. We're going back to the maps now. So we mentioned, you know, Valderas Museum not being in the game at launch, but it was included in the beta. We like that one. We like Farm 18 and Mercado Los Alamos, also like that as well. Both of those from the beta. And then Greenberg Hotel, the last beta one that we do not like a whole lot. I don't think it's a terrible map, but I also don't think it's good. It's just one of those average maps, and depends on the game mode you're playing and, you know, how the enemy team is playing that map. So next, TMilliRock we'll talk about. Mainly only like this for Search and Destroy. It is alright for some other game modes as well, but it's one of those more open maps, and I am a sniper, so I'm able to adjust very well, and if you do not snipe on this map, then you might not like it too much because you'll get picked off by guys a lot. There's a lot of broken down buildings, lots of different windows and other places that you can get peeked at all over the map, man. It's tough. So if you're trying to run from building to building, there's a good chance you're going to get sniped. So it just depends on your play style if that map will be one that you like or not. I think it's okay. I don't think it's very good. It doesn't flow very well in many game modes, but for Search, like I said, I'd like pretty much any map for Search. Next is Crown Raceway. I like this map a lot. I don't think it's like a great map by any means, but I do like it, and it usually plays well for me. And you know, it's pretty solid. I think it's good for Search, of course, like I said, for every map, and then like Domination and Hardpoint is good on that map as well. And yeah, we'll go to Embassy now. Embassy is one that I think is okay, but I don't really like it. Like, the map itself is solid, but personally I don't really like playing it. The Embassy is just really big, and you got multiple windows that people can look out of. I think there's one or two on the lower floor. Then the second floor, there's like 3 or 4 different windows you can look out of there. There's just a lot of little buildings, little rooms, lots of head glitches, of course. That's with a lot of maps, but Embassy, man, it's not a terrible map, but not one that I really like to play. El Asilo is a solid map, I think. I think it's very good for Search, of course, and for Domination, it's alright. it's another map that I think is more strongly suited to snipers, unless you're just mainly running around in that main middle building. Other than that, man, sniping will do well on this map, I think. And then next we got Zarqwa Hydroelectric. This map, it's okay. I haven't played on it a whole lot. I don't think it's great, don't think it's bad, but it's an alright map. Next you got the Al Bagra Fortress, and this map I like a lot. You've probably seen quite a good amount of gameplay from that map on this channel so far. I usually always play it pretty well. Doesn't matter the game mode, man. They all play pretty well. It's one of the smaller maps, of course, in core, and you know I like how it flows, anyways. And yeah, I think that's a good map. Sniping wise, I do pretty well on it, and of course does well for ARs. And then the last core map, Santa Senor Border Crossing. That's another map it's okay. It's not great. None of these maps I really think are too great, man. I mean, there's a few that I really enjoy, like Fortress and Farm 18, Mercado Las Almas, the Crown Raceway. So, you know, there's at least half of them I like a lot. And then a few that are, you know, okay, not great. And then there's a couple that I really don't like, of course, like Turok. It's not too good, as well as Embassy. But yeah, those last three that we mentioned there, Hydroelectric, Fortress, and the Santa Senia Border, those are all core and ground war as well. I'm sure the border crossing is probably a lot better for ground war, but I've only played it in core, and a lot of people hate on that map a lot. I think it's alright though. It's different. I like that it's different. It's not your traditional 3-lane map that you get in Call of Duty. And it's just, you know, 2-lane highway with a ton of broken down cars that just blow up left and right all game. And then you got a little hallway there in what would technically be the mid. And then the right side, a couple more cars, tanks. And that's where you'll get like the A flag and the C flag in ground war. Not in ground war, in domination. My bad. But either way, man, like I said, man, there's at least 5-6 maps that we do like a lot, and just a couple that we don't like at all, and then a couple that are like okay, and you know, just depends on the game mode and your play style. The two ground war maps that aren't in core at all are Sharif Bay and Said, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm not sure, but I have not played ground war much at all. Something I'll probably do here in the next few weeks at some point, just so we can check it out and see how it runs. But yeah, that is going to do it for the maps. We will move on now to the weapons. We'll talk about some of those. We'll start with snipers, of course. I love sniping a lot. If you follow along this channel at all, you know that I snipe, man. It's tons of fun. So I'll also talk a little bit about marksman rifles as well. But the snipers, man, you start off with the MCPR 300. You've already seen some gameplay on this channel of that. I like it a lot, man. It's quick. You start with 10 bullets in the clip, man. That's nice. I like that a lot. You can, of course, change to a 5-round mag or a 15-round mag, but I like just keeping it with the 10. So that way you don't got to worry about reloading all the time. The 5 does help your ADS speed, but I think the ADS speed's already good enough, and I have another attachment on it for that anyways. So I think the 10-round clip in that is nice. Yeah, MCPR 300 is solid, man. I already have it maxed out. I like it a lot. The Signal 50 was the one that we could use in the beta, but you could not customize it at all. So you either had to use it bare bones, or you could use the preset class that they had, but there was a 7-round mag on that, I believe, which actually makes the ADS speed a little bit slower. So the ADS was pretty slow on that gun, but I was able to adjust pretty well and get some decent gameplays back in the beta with that Signal 50. Have not used it yet on the full game. Definitely plan on doing that here soon. I've just been working on the marksman rifles, which I will mention real quick. I need to use the SPR and the SAB50. Both of those you got to use. You unlock the SPR first, and you got to level that up to then get the SAB50, and then you level that up to be able to unlock the last 2 snipers, which is the LAB330 and the SPX80. I do think that SPX80 is going to be probably the best sniper in the game, in my opinion. Now, I haven't got to use it at all yet, of course, but we will have it unlocked pretty soon. I have been making some good progress with the SPR and then moving on to the SAB pretty soon. we'll have some gameplay out with that for sure. But yeah, I definitely think the snipers are going to be very good this year. I pretty much like them all. I got to use the Signal 50 here in the full game to make sure that it is solid and we can customize it this time around and get that ADS speed looking better with it. I've not used any of the other marksman rifles yet. The SPR is pretty solid, man, and the SAB I just started using, so that's pretty solid too. I don't really plan on using any of the other ones unless I gotta do it for like camo challenges down the road, or if I gotta use them to unlock other weapons. But for now, just the SPR and SAB, gotta level those up to get the final two snipers, the LAB 330 and the SPX 80. So moving on to ARs now. The Lockman 5.56 is pretty solid, but to get that you actually have to start with the battle rifle, the Lockman 7.62. So the Lockman 7.62 I have used. You will see some gameplay on that soon, and it's pretty solid. I think it's probably one of the better battle rifles out there, especially once you level it up and are able to change from a 20 round clip to a 30 round clip. And always make sure you use it fully auto, not the single fire. It is still alright single fire, but I just prefer the full auto. Another assault rifle, the M4, of course, seeing gameplay of that. It's been the first few videos here for us, has been with the M4. It is very good, man. It's always going to be good. They always make the M4 solid in these games. And yeah, man, that thing shreds, that's for sure. It's very good, but I definitely like some of these other weapons better now that I've got to use them. Now you got three cast-offs here. You got the cast-off 7.62, which is what you start with. I think that's a pretty solid weapon. Again, you'll see some gameplay of this soon, eventually, in the next week or so. But yeah, you level up the cast-off 7.62 to then get the cast-off 5.45, which I actually don't think is as good as the 7.62, which is weird because you get the 7.62 first. But either way, the 5.45, once you get the attachments for it, it'll be solid, man. I've used that as well. And then that, after you level that up, you get the cast-off 74U, which I actually am surprised it's listed as AR. Thought it would be listed as a SMG. You know, the cast-off is basically the AK. So 74U there, thought it would be a SMG, but it is listed as an AR right now. But yeah, that is what you get after you level up the first two cast-offs. Then you get the 74U at the end there. The TAC 56 I've not used yet, but I believe that is basically the SCAR. And then the STB 5.56, again, I have not used that yet, but a lot of these have played very well. I think they're all pretty solid. The M16 I didn't mention, but I believe you have to level up the M4 for that, and then you got to level up a SMG, or not SMG, an LMG, my bad. And that is the Icarus, the 5.56 Icarus. You level that up, and then that is how you then unlock that M16. So I really don't plan on using that at all. I haven't even used the Icarus yet to even level that up to get the M16. Just don't plan on using those weapons, so no need to do so. Maybe eventually down the road, but definitely not right now at the beginning of the game. Just going to use, you know, the stuff that I like, stuff I want to level up and get to. And the battle rifles, like we mentioned, the Lockman 7.62, pretty solid, man. The FTAC Recon's the only other one I use, because after the M4, you then have to level up the FTAC Recon to then unlock the FFS Hurricane, which is a solid SMG. But I actually can already use the Hurricane, so I don't even really need to level up the Recon. The FTAC Recon, that is, but I will eventually get that there. I think I have it around level 10 right now, and you got to get to like 16. So I will finish that off at some point, but I don't like that weapon at all, so don't expect to see gameplay from that. Maybe eventually down the road at some point, but definitely not anytime soon with that. And I have not used the TAC V yet or the SO14. I'm guessing the TAC V is probably the battle rifle version of the AR TAC 56, so the TAC V you probably get to unlock once you level up that TAC 56, if I had to guess. The SMG is moving on here, like I just mentioned, the FSS Hurricane. You got to level up the M4 first, and then the FTAC Recon to unlock that. It is pretty solid SMG, that is for sure. I haven't really used it much in the full game yet, but we had it in the beta, and it was very solid, man. Very good SMG there. The main one that I was working for was the Lockman Sub, which is basically the MP5. That is one that you have to unlock or level up, that is, all of them other Lockmans that I mentioned earlier. The Lockman 762 and then the Lockman 556. Level those up, and then that is how you unlock the Lockman sub. Have not really got to use it much yet, but I do have it unlocked now. So yeah, we'll get to using that soon, but I believe that will be very, very good, man. It's basically the MP5. You also got the Fennec 45, which gun that has been in Call of Duties before. I have not used it yet. Really haven't used any SMGs other than that Hurricane a little bit. You got the MX9 in there, the mini back, the Vel 46, the PDS W528, and then the Vesnev 9K. I will end up working on those eventually, but yeah, just going over, you know, the weapons basically, so that way you know them. I'm just saying, you know, first impression of the game, I like that all the weapons are here. There's a lot of them, they're all pretty solid based on the ones that I've used. The way you build those with the gunsmith will, you know, really matter. Like if you just have a bunch of random attachments on that you don't know what you're doing, then the gun might not perform as well. But if you gear it towards your play style, it should play very well. I'm not really going to go over anything else like the handguns or the launchers, LMGs, because I do not use LMGs. I probably will at some point eventually use one or two of them just to see how they play, and I'm sure a couple of them will end up being really good. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the weapons. I'm not going to talk about shotguns at all. I absolutely hate shotguns, man. I can't stand them. Can't stand when people use them. They are quite annoying. But, hey, man, to each their own. A lot of people don't like when people snipe. So, whatever. I'm a sniper. And if you want to be a shotgunner, go ahead, man. But just know that it annoys me. So, go ahead, keep using them. But yeah, that's it for the weapons. The last thing I will talk about, well, before we get into the new perk system, I will go over the field upgrades. You have deployable cover, tech insert, trophy system, dead silence, portable radar, battle rage, suppression mine, loadout drop, tactical camera, munitions box, smoke airdrop, inflatable decoy, recon drone, DDoS, which I don't even know what that means, anti-armor rounds, and that's it. Haven't really used a whole lot of these. I pretty much just used the trophy system and the munitions box because I do not have a scavenger on my perk setup. I just prefer to use the ammo box. I'm sure at some point, you know, some classes I will just go scavenger and then switch up the field upgrade. I do like using trophy system a lot, especially since I play hardpoint domination a lot, as well as some headquarters and search. You know, it's pretty good for most objective game modes. You know, you just throw that trophy down wherever you're posted up or wherever, you know, the point is, so that way you know where the nades are going to be coming in. You know, people like to spawn and just chuck those things instantly, or if they're about to attack a point, they might try to nade it out first before they rush in. So having that trophy system is solid. Dead silence, of course, is a very good one to use as well. I do not use it. I think you can also equip that in your perk setup as well, but it is not one of the base ones. So yeah, I have not really used a whole lot of these field upgrades other than the ammo box or trophy system. I'm sure I'll probably use tech inserts eventually at some point. Portable radars are pretty solid as well, especially in like search and destroy or any of the, you know, game modes like that, like knockout and prisoner rescue. But yeah, the perk system is new this year. So you have base perks, bonus perks, and ultimate perks. And basically, in your class setups, they do have some preset perk setups that you can just apply to your class. I believe I have them here. So the perk packages that they already have set are Assault, Phantom, Hunter, Deadeye, Support, and Sniper. So all of those obviously will have perks equipped that are good for, you know, what it says. Sniper, of course, has Focus and Bird's Eye. Support, you get Resupply, Survivor, you know, all that good stuff. Deadeye, you get Overkill, which, you know, of course, is 2 primary weapons. But yeah, they're all just, you know, preset, you know, good, solid little packages that you can use. But I would highly suggest just making your own. That is right, you can just create your own perk setup as well, and you can make multiples and you can rename them, so that way you can, you know, apply them easier to different classes. But the way it works is you start with 2 base perks, so you'll have 2 perks that will always be applied. You'll always have those 2 perks on, and those base perks are Overkill, Double Time, Battle Hardened, Scavenger, Bomb Squad, Tracker, Strong Arm, and Extra Tactical. Right now I think I've been using Double Time and Bomb Squad. Double Time is pretty good, of course it doubles the duration of your tactical sprint and increases crouch movement speed by 30%. So if you like to run and gun and be on the move, Double Time is good. I've been using Bomb Squad a lot as well to help reduce damage from non-killstreak explosives, like no grenades and stuff like that, because people are always chucking them. I actually like Battle Hardened more. I just had to unlock it. I'm pretty sure I do have it now, so I'll have to go turn that on instead of Bomb Squad. And Battle Hardened will reduce the effects of flashes, stuns, EMPs, gas grenades, shock sticks, all that. And those shock sticks annoy me, man. Those things are annoying. Also, you're immune to snapshot grenades, so Battle Hardened I think is very good. I believe I will have a couple classes down the road that will have Scavenger instead of one of those, whether it be Double Time or Battle Hardened. But yeah, those are the base perks. You get to pick 2 of them, and they are applied for the whole game. Now the next ones are bonus perks and ultimate perks. You just get 1 of each, and those you have to earn throughout the game. So as you play, I think the points go up as well. The better you do, the quicker you can get these bonus and ultimate perks. But the bonus ones, that's the next one that you will get. You'll get the bonus one before the ultimate perk. So the bonus perks are Resupply, Spotter, Cold-Blooded, Fast Hands, Hardline, and Focus. So on my sniping classes, I use Focus, which reduces the flinch when aiming down your sights and extends your hold breath duration. I don't really care about the hold breath duration because I don't really snipe like that. I'm more of a quick scoper, run and gun, hold some angles, just peek in different spots kind of quickly, not really just sitting back sniping, on one spot, holding down, I don't really need that extra duration there on that, but the reduced flinch when aiming down sights is huge, so that way when you do start getting shot, whether it's from the side or, wherever it comes from, you don't get as much of a flinch. So I do use that on my sniping classes. Hardline, you already know what that is. I don't really like using that at all. I just think the other perks here are just way too good to replace one of them with Hardline. It is nice, getting the kill streaks, 1 kill earlier, or score streaks, that is, by 125 points sooner. Now, if you did not know, you can change your kill streaks to score streaks, and I believe you just hit, I think it's left trigger, or I'm not sure what the button is, but it'll say somewhere on your screen when you are in that kill streak selection screen. Like when you're applying what kill streaks you want to have on, there should be a button, depending on what console you're on or PC, there should be something you can click on there to change from kill streaks to score streaks. I prefer to just keep it on kill streaks though. Even though I play objective game modes and I play the objective heavy, I probably should change it to score streaks, to be honest, but either way, man, I end up getting there regardless. The only other bonus perks I use here would be Fast Hands. I use that. I like that a lot. You can reload quicker, use equipment, and swap weapons faster. Mainly use it for the reload speed, definitely very key there. Cold-Blooded is nice as well always. I don't really think Resupply or Spotter are too worth it. Of course, if you're playing with a full squad, it would always be smart to have at least a couple guys running some different perks. So, like Spotter, you can see enemy claymores and proximity mines and C4s and trophy systems through walls and all that good stuff. Mark them for your teammates. So that is key. So if you are playing with a team, it would be smart to have at least one guy run Spotter there. And then once you get the next perk, it's the ultimate perk. Again, you can only select one of these. But you got High Alert, Ghost, Quick Fix, Overclock, Survivor, and Bird's Eye. For my sniping classes, I've been using Bird's Eye. Helps with the UAVs. The minimap gets zoomed out some. And it also shows the enemy's direction for the UAV and radar pings. So it is very nice. And also, you get local UAV sweep whenever it activates. Whenever you earn that perk, it'll do a quick little scan and show you where they're at if they're in your area. Yeah, don't use Survivor at all. If you use Survivor, that's basically Last Stand. If you use that, I don't like you. Just know that I can't stand that stuff, man. Just imagine, man, you're getting a clip and just quick scoping guys left and right, and then you go to get the 4th or 5th guy, and he goes into Last Stand. It just ruins it, man. I can't stand people that use Last Stand. Overclock, I don't use it at all. It's just helps get your field upgrade quicker. I think that would be good if you were using Dead Silence as your field upgrades. That way, you know, you use overclock, then you can get it quicker. Quick fix, don't really use, but it is solid. Gets your health regen quicker when you kill enemies, and also when you capture and hold objectives, it increases your health regen rate. Ghost, of course, I think I just unlocked that. I think it's at level 51 or 52, so I will be running Ghost a lot as well. I was using High Alert and Bird's Eye for snipers, and then High Alert on other classes, which vision pulses when spotted by an enemy player outside of your view. So that is always key when guys, you know, get eyes on you that you can't see, and it kind of lets you know the direction they're in. So that is solid, but I will be running Ghost most of the time because people just spam UAVs like crazy, but it does suck that you do not get to run Ghost like the whole game. You do have to earn it throughout the game. So early on when guys are throwing UAVs up and whatnot, you will be detected on that radar. So it is always smart to have someone, if you're playing with a team, have someone run a class that has, you know, a launcher that you can shoot those down with. But honestly, I don't really care for it. If you can see me on the map, I'm not worried about it. I know a lot of people that don't even pay attention to the mini-map, but I, you know, play on monitor, so it's a small enough screen to where I literally just see everything. So I pretty much technically always have eyes on the radar. It's nice having, you know, a solid monitor to play on. That helps a lot. But yeah, Ghost definitely is going to be applied to most of my classes. But yeah, that's it for the new perk system. I do like the idea of it. I think they overdid it a little bit, but it just stinks that, like, you know, Ghost is such a key perk and you only get it towards the end of the game, man. But yeah, I think it's a solid new system, man. I prefer it over just having 3 applied the whole time. You know, I like the fact starting with 2, but I think it would be better if you would just get the next 2 at the same time rather than you know, unlock the bonus perk and then you get your ultimate perk applied later on. Would be nice to see both the bonus and ultimate both be at the same time, but either way, it is a nice solid new system. But yeah, that is pretty much everything I wanted to go over in this game. I hope you have been enjoying the gameplay. I didn't realize this would go on so long, but I appreciate if you stuck around for the whole thing. That is it, man. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, leave a like on the video. I'd appreciate that a lot. Also, comment below your thoughts on the game. Have you got to play it yet? How much have you played? And, you know, what weapons have you used? And what maps do you like and dislike? All that good stuff. What game modes do you prefer? Just let me know in the comments your thoughts. But yeah, that's going to do it. Like I said, leave a like if you enjoyed. Appreciate it a lot. And subscribe to the channel if you are new. Plenty more gameplay coming soon. Have a nice day. Peace.
I was ready to give that dude some too, eh? Alright, I gotta go check on my pizza. I think my pizza probably looks like a hockey puck right now, so.